I was loving it.
Fellas, we're going live in 3, 2, 1.
Hey, I'm Russ Rollins. It's time for the Nerdy News. Another episode of the Nerdy News. Man, we've done a bunch of these so far. I'm Russ Rollins. I don't know as much about nerdy stuff as Jeff Coffin does, and Jeff Coffin is the nerdy man. What's up, Jeff Coffin?
I'm in a full nerdy mood today.
Okay,
I have my nerdy vibe on. I have my nerdy underwear on. I'm ready to go.
And I gotta tell you what, Ryan Holmes, I think you deserve an official nerd card because you
Secret nerd, Russ.
because you were a nerd when you were a kid, like super nerd when you were a kid.
Yeah, very, very big nerd. Got beat up a lot, picked on for the stuff that I liked. No one liked it then. Everybody loves it now. Take that.
When did you come clean to your girlfriend about your nerdiness?
Well, she's a nerd
Oh,
too.
she's way
And
nerd.
So
she
you
knows.
got lucky. Okay.
She knows me from high school and
Okay.
back in the day because she was my 10th grade girlfriend.
I was
So she
talking
knows.
to this other comedian the other day, and he was talking about his nerdy stuff and that he can't sell it and everything else because it's too lowbrow for a lot of the audiences. And I was like, going, no, you sell nerdiness from the heart.
Yeah.
You don't sell nerdiness from like, oh, the Star Wars planet of Gukumunga.
Well, like nerd has really spread out if you think about it. Because when I was a kid, the only thing that made you a nerd is if you watch Star Trek. If you watch Star Trek, then you were a nerd. That was really about it. And then it was cool to watch Star Wars, so that wasn't really nerd factor as of that time. And then when you got into the 80s, that's when okay, Star Wars and Star Trek, that's all nerdy. Like the nerdy grew, and now, man, nerdy stuff is all over, and it really has taken over the world.
I didn't come clean with any of the girls I dated before they were already on the hook about my nerdiness.
Okay, what did you? You're a little bit older than me, yeah, a little.
Yeah,
older than
a
me.
little bit.
Okay, so what do you?
Actually, you're older than me.
Well, I'll be 55
I just
next
look
week.
older. I just look older.
Oh, okay, I'll be 55 next week, 2 weeks from now. So what was considered nerdy for you? I guess comic books and Star Trek.
Spider-Man. Well, Star Trek didn't get hot till like the 80s, believe it or not, because the first Star Trek convention was late 70s, 80s. So people weren't really focused on Star Trek came out in the 60s, remember?
Oh yeah.
And it had reruns, but there were other reruns, Gilligan, really crap reruns. But we had comic books. And you had comic books, and Star Wars came out in like 76.
Oh no! When people got nerdy is when they start getting into what was it? World of Warcraft or what's that called? Dungeons and Dragons. That's when the nerds kicked in. With Dungeons and Dragons, that's when you became a super nerd.
But you couldn't come clean with that. Those were like the 4 guys in the class that nobody saw. That they were and they'd spend Friday, Saturday, and Sunday at one of their houses playing Dungeons and Dragons for the weekend.
Yeah, no, doesn't Craig Lynn, by the way,
my partner Craig Lynn. Yeah.
So for those of you who don't know,
my heterosexual life partner,
Jeff Kaufman, runs a firm. It's Kaufman and Lynn. It's both of them together. WhenYouNeedUs.com. And Craig Lynn, we've mentioned him before. I mean, a mammoth man. I mean, a big son of a bitch. I mean, Captain America come to life, right?
Yeah, he's a big bitch.
He's a big dude, but
he can bench a car.
And
he's a big boy.
Please don't tell him I'm not picking on him, but I'm just saying I can't imagine him playing Dungeons and Dragons. And do you think he could explain it to me? Because I don't know what
he can't. Here's the problem. There's a lot of detail, and you're not a detail guy. You're a guy, let's do this.
Yeah.
You're less, I don't want to find out about the 7 stages or the 7 levels and what do these dice mean. I just want to play.
Yeah.
You're a do it.
Oh, you can't do that.
No, you got to learn shit. And Craig was, I feel like Carlos, I'm going to get dinged. Craig is the undercover geek. So when he discovered women and his Dungeon and Dragon parties, he had to tell the guys, "Hey, listen, I can't play because I have a date." And they're what?
Oh,
what? And all of it.
Because you don't think of a Dungeon and Dragon dude being like a good looking super, like him.
I want to see what Craig looked like as a young man, though, because
Craig was hippie. He had the long hair and everything, and he wouldn't shave his hair in high school.
Mm-hmm.
He was still a big dude, and they kicked him off the football team because he wouldn't shave his hair.
I was hoping you were going to tell me he was skinny and not muscular.
No, he rode a bike. He rode a crotch rocket back then, not a Harley. But he drove. He was a dude.
But middle school Craig, was that what he looked like?
Middle school, I still think he always was big. His kid is kind of big too. So I think he's big boned.
He didn't play football?
Craig, the coach tried to make him cut his hair, and Craig goes, "I can't cut my hair." And Craig was the fastest guy on his team.
I'll be damned.
And he got cut because of the coach. He wouldn't cut his hair.
So nerdy people were people that played Dungeons and Dragons, not really computer. Like when I was young, just because you play computer games, it didn't make you a nerd. But then it kind of got.
Well, they had the Atari, the Odyssey 5, then they had the Nintendo, then they had the ColecoVision. They had all of them, and everyone played the games. Everyone was addicted to all these games. So you couldn't be a geek because you played video games, because now everyone played it. I think geek is a subculture.
Okay, you're using the word geek. Geek and nerd.
Geek and nerd.
Not the same thing.
No, there are some differences. I tend not to get into the nuances because then I get nasty emails. I don't know. I think a nerd can get laid easier than a geek. That's the best way to put it.
Yeah, a geek has the glasses kind of
socially awkward.
Socially awkward. Can't really talk to girls.
A little bit, but I don't want to put people down, because now I think anybody can get laid now, because the sexes they're just like monkeys and dogs sleeping together. I don't know.
What?
Just the point is that nobody cares anymore.
Oh.
I mean, it's like who's the late? Who are you? Are you at the bar at the last person at the bar? You used to have to try before. Now it's like, okay, I guess we're doing it. It's just out of convenience.
At these conventions, man, they all hook up and do furry parties and all kinds of.
Furries are a whole different thing.
You don't want to mess with the furries, man. They just had a convention, and then some lady was being attacked, like sexually assaulted, and all these guys in furry costumes go after the guy, kicked his ass in furry costumes.
I saw a video where
pack mentality.
Pack mentality. See, furries. There's a brilliance to the furry. And I think a lot of people don't really think of it that much, but there's a real brilliance to the furry, because the idea is this: you're not gauging somebody based on what they look like. You're gauging them, the costume looks like this. Sometimes it's completely anonymous, where, it's a costume, you're a costume. And it's honestly probably the most freeing form of sex you might be able to have, because you're not going to judge the other person. You're not going to go, oh, this girl's ugly, this guy's ugly. No, you're just going to have sex and you're going to leave.
Yeah, I didn't have sex with Gary, the fat accountant. I had sex with Rhubarb, the awesome fox guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Foxy Loxy and everything else.
That's ridiculous.
It was funny. I met these guys. I had the furry booth across from me at Comic-Con one time. And I walked over to these guys after 3 days. It was killing me. It was killing me. Because, when I have something in my head, I got to talk about it. And I walked over to them, and everyone's trying to pull me back. Jeff, don't do it. You're going to insult people. I said, I insult people anyway. And I walked over and I said, listen, guys, can I ask you? And it was a nice young lady. I said, I have a question. It's been on my mind for like 3 days now. I'm not a very observant guy. How can I tell the difference if it's a man or a woman in the costume?
Good question.
And I thought that was a good one.
Sure.
I know it was a good one. And the answer was something I never expected. She said, well, it's in the gait. And I'm going,
in the gait.
What do you mean? Like horses? You mean like the way horses walk? She goes, yes, you can tell by the way somebody walks if they're a man or woman. I said, I'd be screwing guys all the time. I would have no idea.
It's the way they walk, huh?
Yeah, and I'm too polite too. Because I'd be there, I'm going, oh God. I don't know what to do.
So they have sex in the costume.
Yeah.
So
they sometimes
there must be a lot of money in cleaning these costumes afterwards.
Yeah, hopefully.
My God.
But they do cuddle piles sometimes, where they just like get in a big pile and like they grope each other.
Pile.
Yeah. Well, they're yiffing. It's called yiffing.
What's that?
See, he really knows this stuff.
What's yiffing?
It's in the furry community. When you're having sex as a furry, you're yiffing. It originally comes from like, you would yiff at somebody you were like sexually into, and now the word has evolved to just mean that's furry for banging.
Well, there's a lot of sexuality in the whole cosplay and all that. And I'll tell you what, that one girl that we met, Kara, who dressed like Jolly Jane,
AZ Power Girl.
AZ Power Girl is her name. You can follow her. I mean, all she does is dress up and show like her boobs, and she must be making like billions of dollars dressing up. And selling like calendars of herself, and everything is with her boobs out.
She sells the crap out of our books, so I want to shut up.
I ain't mad at her.
She sold a lot of our books at Comic-Con.
I'm just making observation that she's made a living out of dressing up in those costumes and with her boobs.
She's actually a colorist too, so she does have some skill. She colors some books.
Yeah, she stays in touch with me.
And she's a great entrepreneur. She understands Kickstarter and how to sell.
Oh yeah,
and she's got all these accounts and stuff like that. It works. I'm not talking porn accounts, but I mean
AZ Power Girl. If you're looking her up, Ryan.
Kara has helped us out for about 10 years at different things. If I ever do a convention and she's available, she's
great.
Because what I found out, there's a difference between a booth model and a cosplayer. Booth models will just stand there and like point. Yeah, a cosplayer is into it and will sell it. Yeah. And Kara is a mix of the two.
She stands out and gets people's attention because of the way she's dressed. Did you find her? Yeah, you found her.
Stop.
I mean, and it's every day it's something new. One day she's Vampirella, and the next day she's I don't know, whatever.
I mean, when you think about it, when I think about furries and stuff like that, and people are always, we live in such a judgmental world when everyone's so screwed up. everyone has a screwed up issue, but he's more screwed up than I am. Just accept that people have their own nonsense.
Everybody's a little into a little something.
Everyone has their own nonsense.
Last week you do this thing, and it's a really great gimmick where you'll rent out an entire movie theater and
the whole theater. It is awesome.
And invite people to come and watch for free, which is a very cool thing. A lot of people get a kick out of it. I didn't make the last one, but the last one you did was Bad Boys.
What you gonna do? What you gonna do when Russ doesn't come to you?
Bad Boys for Life. Well, here's the thing. I have to decide whether it's worth me staying up past 6:30 because I could have bed at 6:30. You
get the early bird special at
bro. I gotta be up by 3:30. And last week on
you
Friday,
got radio in the morning, so that's
radio in the morning. And last week Friday, we were off. Mary Ellen's like, "You want to go eat?" Yeah, we went and ate at 3:30. Friday night we're in bed by 6:30. It was the best night ever.
I support that.
How was Bad Boys for Life?
I love Bad Boys for Life. I was normally with the sequel. I didn't like the second one. The second one I didn't like. I liked the first one.
I didn't like the first one. I like the second.
The first one was new because it had funny humor and everything else. The second one I thought was okay. The third one I thought was funny because Martin Lawrence is a lot older. He's a little chunkier, and he's I find you funny when you're fatter. I'm gonna be honest with you. I find fat people hysterical. I'm one of them. I support my people. But I think when people get all thin, they can't be funny anymore, and I don't know why that is, unless they were thin to begin with. If you're an Eddie Murphy, you can be thin. But Martin Lawrence always looked like he was going to be a little fat guy.
Yeah.
And he was so funny. The lines, the timing, everything else.
So I should see it.
I would see it. Yes. I give it a thumbs up. And $111 million in the first week.
That's awesome.
I think it did well.
It did a little better than Gemini Man, the last Will Smith movie.
I have not liked a Will Smith movie in so long
that
this one was such a gift.
Did you see Gemini Man?
No,
you did not. Yeah,
didn't even want to see it.
It's up on Amazon. I can rent it, and I'm like, I don't want to see two Will Smiths. I love Will Smith, but I
barely want to see one Will Smith at times. Seeing two of them and going, okay, so the movie is about him in a younger version, and then I saw some footage from it, and I'm going, oh, this is just cheesy. And then I made a mistake of reading something. And when I read it, I'm going, yeah, I'm not doing this.
Yeah.
But I thought it was Martin Lawrence's movie.
Yeah, good.
So I like that. But let's talk about, you go from that movie to what the hell are these producers thinking with Doolittle?
Yeah, I heard it's a hunk of hell.
You could see who decided, hey, you know what we're missing? We're missing let's do another Dr. Doolittle. And we're going to take this actor who's been very well known. We're going to take this brilliant actor and we're going to make him Dr. Doolittle.
Yeah.
And they take.
He did Sherlock Holmes.
They take Iron Man and Sherlock Holmes, and they go, now you're Dr. Doolittle. So the whole movie's gonna be you and a bunch of animals.
See, Sherlock Holmes and Dr. Doolittle to me are kind of the same person. They seem very.
They're English.
Yeah, and so it's him doing an English accent. So I kind of feel like it's the same thing. I think maybe they thought the kids would like all the animals talking. But then they've got all these the animals that are talking are all famous people, so it costs a lot of money to get these famous people to voice these.
Well, see, the thing about Dr. Doolittle too is also you're talking about a movie that can actually show in China without too much of a problem because there's no swearing, there's no political issues.
How's it doing in China?
It's sad. Doolittle did a whopping 28 million total internationally, and I mean, it's just painful when you're thinking that the whole rest of the world, who it's available in every country, hated it too. And I'm going to pretend it doesn't exist.
Okay, yeah.
So that I won't hate Robert Downey Jr.
Well, I mean, I ain't mad at him. He just took the job.
Listen, I took the money. I mean, it's still you.
Yeah.
If I'm a fan of yours and I know intentionally you took this piece of pile and I paid for this pile.
So you're mad at everybody in Cats then, huh?
Oh.
Yeah, every single person in Cats you must be mad at. Because I did not hear a good thing about that.
The way they got everybody in that, I was like, they must have said that this is such an easy acting job because they're not using suits. They're not putting you in makeup. It's all just this weird version of mocap that doesn't require the suit. So they must have just been like, look, Idris Elba, you're barely going to have to do anything.
Yeah.
So come on in.
Well, Jim Carrey almost killed himself. When they made him do what's the cat?
Grinch.
When he did, the Grinch.
Yeah, he hated it.
He supposedly, because it took like 7 hours to get into makeup, and it's torture. And he had to go to a military guy about being prisoners of war and what it's like to be able to mentally put yourself in that position.
Are you kidding me?
Oh, if you're sitting in a chair for 7 hours for them to put this makeup on, and imagine how hot and itchy and crazy
You're breathing through straws. And
I
all
mean,
kind of stuff,
for example,
Bump
when Michael Keaton played, when Michael Keaton and actually George, who was a terrible Batman, George Clooney. Yeah, he talked about the acting where he couldn't move in the costume. They would just stick him up on a board and they'd go, "All right, action! I'm Batman." Cut. And he was going, of course, you can't turn your head left and right. I mean, the idea of being confined and the costume is so confining.
It's funny you say that. That was a terrible Batman movie. I don't think he was a terrible Batman. It was a terrible Batman movie. I think given a chance,
yeah, I was surprised.
He actually could have been. He looked like Bruce Wayne. He wasn't a bad Batman, but that movie was a hunk of crap. Who was the worst Batman? And I love Val Kilmer. I think as far as everyone who's ever played Batman, he's probably the worst of them.
Really?
He's considered the worst.
He didn't fit, the character. And he's a great actor, but he's blonde. That doesn't fit. And
I gotta go back and watch that one. He's in the second one?
He's the Batman and Robin. And he's probably, and he wasn't terrible, but as far as all the Batmans, don't you think he's the worst?
Yeah. I think when you're thinking, well, let's do favorite Batman.
Well, my favorite Batman has been Affleck.
Sure,
100%.
I think there's somebody else.
Who's that?
I think you're going with Adam West.
No, I love Adam West, but as far as Batman,
well, I mean, which one? Honestly, you love that Adam West Batman.
I do love Adam West, but as far as the Batman, I thought Ben Affleck was thick enough. I thought he acted. I really thought he was a great Batman, and I don't know, nobody agrees with me, but that's okay.
The reason why I got Christian Bale.
Yeah, me too.
I like him, but he's too thin.
He was.
If you tone back the voice a little bit,
yeah. I don't like the voice.
Christian Bale when he's sitting across in the last one when he's looking at Catwoman at the table.
Yeah,
and he's looking suave. And that was a moment, but there was that one also when he's coming out of when he's pretending he's Bruce Wayne. And he's acting like an idiot, and he's in a pond. And he gets out. He goes. Don't I'm not who you think I am.
Right.
I'm not.
That's great. Movie.
That was the feeling of Batman when he was trying to look at something. I'm more than who I am.
Those are great movies, without a doubt.
He sold that so well.
I know that there are people that have actually seen. I guess they're filming the new Batman now with
Patterson.
Patterson. And what have you heard?
You know what? From what I hear, everyone's happy so far.
Yeah,
there hasn't been anything that got out. I mean, we talked about that. He had if he's not heavy enough, you're not gonna like him. But he has a problem putting on weight because it's just body. Sometimes your body just will not accept that mass.
Right.
There are actors that can go from huge to thin. Christian Bale does it all the time. You have a lot of actors who can move their body type, and some that are just so thin that they're never going to be able to put on that major bulk that you might be thinking about.
And Robert Pattinson is a thin dude.
But I saw pictures of the one thing about him is he has a darkness.
Yeah.
This dude has a darkness to him that I think the other Batman, the other actors who played him don't. I mean, Christian Bale is likable. He has a certain amount of darkness.
Yeah.
But I think Patterson just looks like he should be kind of a villain at times. I remember him in the Twilight movies. He had the darkness, the independent stuff. He has that look like he's just thinking of 4,000 things at the same time. And I think that's going to work out for Bruce Wayne.
And the guy that's playing the Penguin, who is it again? It's the British guy who smokes all the time. What the hell's his name? The guy that's playing the Penguin in this one.
The British guy
and he was also in Daredevil as the guy that throws the
Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell's playing the Penguin. So
I think he's an older. I think what I like that Colin Farrell is older now. I think I didn't.
Do they thicken him up? Do they make him fat? Because I mean,
he doesn't have to be.
He's just got to be deformed.
The character in Gotham, the actor who played the Penguin in Gotham,
was thin.
I honestly thought was one of the best Penguins, and I'm talking even going back to Burgess Meredith.
Oh man, you can't be beating Burgess.
Burgess Meredith was actually he looked like that, and he was. It was a parody.
Yeah, of course.
It was like here's a comic book, like Bruce Wayne, like Adam West was Batman.
Yeah.
Burt Ward was, this guy was this, and I think Burgess Meredith played this great character, but it wasn't as thorough as the actor from Gotham. This guy made you believe that he was suffering. He made you like him more than Batman.
What was your theory on why they stopped filming Gotham? Were the ratings not that great, or did you think it had something to do with the DC Universe
Gotham's
network?
too smart. I'm always in fear when a show is too smart.
Yeah,
because so many people are going to like it, and so many people won't. Like, we got some people into Gotham because, oh my God, this was a great show.
it was a great show,
but it was a great show. Sometimes people are willing to give it a break because they know other people like it. And I don't think that it ever got to that level where people were starting to go, yeah, you need to see this, even though we said you needed to see it. But when you look at this, and it's like the people who don't like Titans, who didn't see Titans on the DC universe, when I told you, so Titans is great.
It was good.
And you're like, wow, this is good.
But that's the only thing on the DC universe that I think is worth a damn.
Well, you didn't like Doom Patrol.
No.
But they're bringing Titans. Now, little secret.
Yeah.
HBO Max.
Yeah.
Which comes out in May.
Right.
Most likely, HBO Max will eat DC Universe
and bring it in.
Yeah.
To there. Okay.
Yeah. In fact, the new program Stargirl, which was directed and produced by Jeff Johns, who's the producer of every DC thing but he took his personal hand into it. When they filmed it in Atlanta, he was involved in all the shooting, the filming, everything else, which is unusual because Jeff Johns was normally the producer. He normally wasn't that hands-on. It was supposed to be DC Universe, but it's going to be on WB, HBO Max, and DC Universe.
And WB has a lot of DC stuff, man.
Yeah. You know, when you think about it, if I told you who owns DC Comics,
I don't know.
Ryan?
It's the Warner Brothers, right?
Who owns Warner Brothers?
Time Warner.
What's your phone service?
T-Mobile.
Let's say you
Verizon.
Go below that. AT&T.
AT&T. Okay.
AT&T owns DC Comics.
Oh wow.
They don't quite know what to do with it because that's not their thing. Now,
well, that's like what did I just watch? Oh, it was the WB. Oh, The Witcher. The Witcher's WB.
Yep, Witcher's fantastic. The Witcher came from a series of novels, which it's funny because The Witcher is actually Netflix's most popular original show
of all time. Yeah, like 74 million people.
76 million people have watched
Really?
it.
Yeah.
I need to get another shot.
You need to get into the third episode.
You have to get, it's so corny right off the bat. Like, it was hard for me because I was expecting like a Game of Thrones style thing.
Yeah.
And it's exactly if the Game of Thrones met a WB show.
All right,
they mix it together.
Okay. Here's what you haven't seen yet. Have you seen The Witch Have Sex yet?
No, I saw him go into the one room, and there was a lot of naked women around in the one room. Looked like they were taking fruit off trees.
Oh,
or whatever.
the wizard.
You see the one where the poor girl they put her witch in training.
I didn't stick around.
That's where it gets.
No, yeah, you gotta get through it because the first episode I was like, this is crap. Why is everybody all into this?
Because I'll be honest, I did that with Dracula. I watched it myself.
Don't tell me because I'm holding it.
I'm not going to mess
it up. Fine wine for me.
No, but
I'm drinking it slowly.
I watched a little bit of it, and I'm like, I don't want to watch this. And then my wife comes home, and because she is as a paramedic, she just sit around and just watch stuff, waiting for people to get hurt. And she's like, oh my God, you got to watch Dracula, Russ. I'm like, all right, I'll give it another shot. And I'm glad I did because I loved it.
Well,
I loved your description of your wife's job right there.
What?
Yeah, she just sits around and waits for people to get hurt.
She's a paramedic. That's what you do.
I mean,
you sit around, wait for someone to break their leg. Yeah.
Hey, listen, I'm loaded up with her stuff, and I'm so excited. I have all of her jellies and jams, and I'm ridiculously happy about that.
For Christmas, my wife made all kinds. I mean, she does all this canning and stuff.
Apple butter.
And she made apple butter and the mango salsa.
Mango salsa.
And it's been sitting here since Christmas because you ride your motorcycle and you weren't able to take it. We're at the radio station.
She had a big gift basket. I'm like, so now I disassembled the basket, and it all fit in the cargo space.
You're gonna like the mango salsa. It was a hit.
Your wife is fantastic. She cuts me up.
She's wonderful.
Even though the whole Jeffy thing, I'm not in the hobby thing.
She called
you
in the middle of Comic-Con, the second day there. They get there a little late, which is, because he's working the radio, and it's like 1:00, and I get back. I forgot and I meet him at the hotel, and of course Russ and Mary Ellen are already hammered.
Yeah,
and she leans over, she puts an arm around me, and goes, "Jeff, I gotta talk to you about something really serious." And I'm like, yeah. Hey, what? She goes, "It's about this hobby of yours." What are we talking about? The comic books. This is not a hobby. I've been producing comic books for 15 years. If this was for my sole enjoyment, this would be the worst hobby in the world.
Oh, she got it. She lit into it. She's like, do you make any money from it? If you're not gonna make any money, then it's a hobby, Jeff. And I'm like, why are you scolding him? You should
So
be home.
mean.
You should be home with your wife. And I'm like, what do you to have another drink?
She staked me right in the middle. I turned to dust right there. It was like a bad Buffy.
But she loves you.
Oh,
Yeah.
I know.
She doesn't play around though. No mincing words with them.
Sweep the leg, Mary Ellen.
Mary, I told you the other day. This goes to show that she doesn't just do it to you; she does it to me, right? So the other day we were talking about losing weight and stuff like that, and I said, "Honey, it's good to know though, because she's told me many times. I said, it's good to know that you love me and you think I look good no matter how much I weigh." And I got quiet. She said, "Well, let me be clear. What I said was, I love you no matter how much you weigh. I didn't say you look good no matter how much you weigh." I'm like, oh, damn, baby.
Well, here's the question, and I always wonder this: when you meet you naturally when you meet somebody, you're normally looking your best when you meet them. Very rarely do you meet them looking your worst, and then you get better looking, because normally you're going, well, I'm already taken care of. I can fall off the wagon a little bit.
Right.
Now you've been this size for how long?
I've lost some weight recently, but I mean, I'm probably 2-3 years.
Okay, I've been carrying a Backstreet Boy with me for the better part of 18, 20 years.
Yeah.
So my weight has basically stayed the same. So when people go, you don't change, because I was fat when you met me. And I don't know. They would, when you look at a chart, and the charts are meant from Russian gymnasts, and when they tell you your height and you're going, and they go morbidly obese. I'm going, is there something worse than that? I'm like, going, is the next step like super fatty?
No.
I mean, I would love them to name these right. They're going, hey, semi-fat,
morbidly obese,
little fatty. That's my super fatty.
My doctor, I had to. I was losing weight one time, and I'm like, Dr. Umplapati, I've lost weight. And she goes, congratulations, you used to be morbidly obese, now you're just obese, which is like, that doesn't sound good.
No, I don't like being referred to as like ridiculous, like dying fat. That is dying fat. That's the definition when they say morbidly.
Yeah.
God, I'm murdering that. Obese. It sounds like next step death.
Yeah.
And I don't particularly like that, because the stress of being called morbidly might send me to my grave faster than me actually being fat.
That's a good point. Yeah.
I mean, I
could do it. Yeah.
I don't really know. I think it makes me sad. So my buddy says, watch the Harley Quinn, the girl Coco
trailer.
The girl from The Big Bang.
Kelly Kawako?
Kelly Kawako. Is that really? No way. That's
Kelly Kawako. Isn't that how you say it?
Kawako?
Who is that?
That's the girl that was the main character in The Big Bang. Penny.
Okay.
Yeah.
Penny. That was Penny. And so he says, she does a great job as Harley Quinn. So I'm watching the first episode.
And what?
Of Harley Quinn is a new cartoon. It's like an R-rated cartoon on DC Universe. You can watch it on your DC Universe. It's something new.
I feel weird watching cartoons, but okay, I'll try.
Cartoons were originally made for adults. Kids took them over.
Okay. A lot of F-bombs.
Okay.
Murder, mayhem. It's a dark version of Harley Quinn, and they don't worry. F this, F that. Harley Quinn drops the F-bomb like 5 times. She's domestic violence. She's stuck in jail. And I'm going, okay. It just felt like for me that I enjoyed it a little bit. It just felt like they were just dropping the F-bomb because now they're allowed to.
Mm-hmm.
And that was, so I mean, that's on the DC universe. And all right, Baby Yoda. I'm getting back on this again. All right, Disney, you give us so much merchandise that we don't want. I mean, I go into a Disney store and you have the best product in the world, and it looks like the people who are designing your shirts are like the people who design the crappy T-shirts at a football game where they're selling out.
They don't have good shirts, do they?
And it's like, how hard? You have the best character. You know why? Because I found out their designers aren't the guys who design stuff. Like, I know people who are actually comic book guys who work for Disney. They're not involved in the design problem. It's somebody who lets some other buddy do it.
It's funny you say that. I've always thought that. I never said it out loud. But every time I go to Disney, I look at their T-shirts. I'd buy a T-shirt, but none of them
look cool.
Yeah. They're not just corny, but they're just not even creative.
So The Mandalorian comes out.
Yeah.
And some genius at Disney goes, well, we won't try to. We got this new character that's going to be cute as hell, Baby Yoda. We're not going to create merchandise for 5 months till after the show's aired.
That was a stupid move.
So I've seen the best Baby Yoda t-shirts I've ever seen in the world. And I know we can't don't tell me it's a child. I'm calling him Baby Yoda. Screw the director.
Everybody calls it Baby Yoda.
Baby Yoda. You know why? Because it's fun and it's cute and shut the hell up.
Yeah. But
I know it's not Yoda's child. I get it.
It's really not Yoda that we know from Star Wars. It's somebody from his planet.
Until you decide what the name of this species is.
Did they give
He's a Yoda.
Did they give it a name in Mandalorian?
The child. They call it the child.
The child.
The child. That's it.
That's
Baby
but he's
Yoda.
50 years old.
It's the way they grow. Come on. Suspend your disbelief, damn it.
All right.
So I've been dying. Somebody at the Star Wars premiere bought me a Baby Yoda.
Gotcha.
And I wasn't there because I got sick. So I couldn't go to the damn Star Wars premiere. So everyone brought me like cool Star Wars shit. And that was really nice. It was like a Christmas gift, I guess. And somebody bought me this great Baby Yoda. And I saw pictures of it. I said, I can't wait for the Baby Yoda. Well, the Baby Yoda has now become a thing in my office. My marketing director, Ken, thinks that he wants to torture the person who handles my closing documents. Her name's Skylar. So Skylar wants the Baby Yoda. Well, Ken knows she wants the Baby Yoda. So he's just taking pictures of Baby Yoda all over Orlando, like he's held hostage. I'm going, that's my damn Baby Yoda. It's not hers. Give me the Baby Yoda.
Yeah, I've had that happen with my dog tag.
And Build-A-Bear has just said, well, we've signed an agreement where we're gonna produce Baby Yodas.
How do you think they're going to do?
They are going to sell out. But if they wait 5 months to get them done, then by then maybe we're done with it.
It won't be as hot, right?
Yeah, I want my Baby Yoda now.
I'm so surprised that Disney agreed to the director's demand of don't make any products until we make the reveal, because they lost out on millions.
Millions, billions.
Why would they do that? I wonder.
People, this was the hottest item that anybody wanted. Now, Build-A-Bear has agreed to do it, but they're not going to have their thing out. Well, a lot of people on Etsy are starting to build their own Baby Yodas. They're filling a market. People want their Baby Yodas. They want their t-shirts. They want this. Well, Disney is lighting people up who are making their own Baby Yodas.
They're starting suing them.
Yeah, the one-offs. Not like you're producing them in China, but people who are actually designing these outfits. And I'm furious at Disney going, wait a minute. If I want a Baby Yoda and you're not going to give it to me,
might as well get it from someone else.
I honestly think that's a crime. You are making me suffer. That's the intentional infliction of emotional distress, which is actually.
What if they had the point of view of, listen, this character is such a great character. We've decided we are never making any Baby Yodas, and we don't want anyone to ever make it because it's disrespectful to the character. What if they?
Let's say you say that. Except if I type in Spider-Man on Etsy, there's a million Spider-Man.
But isn't that how all of Comic-Con works, though? It's a legal gray area, and if any of those companies decided to enforce their copyright, they just shut it down.
Normally, one-offs they don't have a problem with when you're creating them one by one. Yes, if I go to China and I get a bunch of these stuffed animals, Baby Yoda stuffed animals, like a million, yeah, that's a problem. But when you're doing one-offs, for example, Artist Alley they sell like 10, 20 prints of Spider-Man. There's Spider-Man they created.
Come ask you this. Let's say we go to MegaCon and we look around and there's another. There's 50 people that have Jolly Jane dolls. Someone has created Jolly Jane dolls and they're selling them and they're making money off of our character.
And how happy would you be to see all those dolls?
I'd be happy, but you'd be pissed off.
I'd be okay with it. Because then they buy my books.
Okay.
They're gateway drugs into our books. You know, there's a difference between somebody like, for example, on the internet scanning our stuff and selling it or just putting it online on these Russian websites where they're not going to buy my book because of this.
Yeah.
If Disney had an alternative, they go, well, they're not buying our dolls. No, you don't have any dolls. You haven't produced this. There's a demand and you'll boost the character and more people will be excited about the series 2 of the Mandalorian than they were before. So yes, if you're not offering anything and somebody's filling that market and they're not hurting anybody, then let it go. If you're not going to go after Spider-Man, because they own Marvel too, and you're not going to go after the other Star Wars crap. If I type in, for example, Jedi, they're selling sword, they're selling lightsabers, they're selling everything, and you're just going to make a big deal for Baby Yoda? Pound sand.
Right.
I want my Baby Yoda, damn it.
Is there really nothing you can do if the website is Russian and uploads your stuff?
What are you going to do? Who are you going to sue?
Yeah,
go to Russia and file against these guys.
Yeah, so you're just like SOL.
SOL.
Wow.
But you can go. You might be able to get it blocked, but it's a huge effort to get stuff like that done, and
especially since it's so easy to just upload it to a new website, right?
I mean, yeah, the feelings on what you can do and can't do based on liability. I mean, it made me sick. I don't know if I told this. I was doing a panel one time and I was explaining comic books and this guy got up and in the middle of my panel, he goes, Jeff, I'd like to discuss one of your books I read online. So I said, well, okay, we'll do that. But do me a favor, before you do that, let me explain to you. I don't offer my books online, which means that you read a hacked copy of my book online.
Right.
So you were right about to gripe about a book you didn't pay me for.
Yeah, you got it for free.
It's the equivalent of you stealing my car and then calling me to bitch over the quality of the radio.
Yeah.
So, but please go ahead with your question.
What did he ask? What was his question?
Without even beating a pause, without saying, "Hey, listen, I'm sorry I stole your stuff." He goes, it's the vampire Gabriel Tempest. He's 26. He has sex with the woman who turned him into a vampire. Why would he do it? Because he's 26 years old." Next. And he was, I don't get it. I go, could one of the women in the room explain it to him?
Yeah, he's 26 and horny.
Yeah, he's 26-year-old guy. It's a good-looking girl. He had sex with a good-looking girl at 26. That's the choice. You make choices with your penis.
How old would you think the guy was?
In like sex years or like regular years?
No, the guy who asked the question.
He was probably 30, 38, but he probably had slept with maybe one woman.
Right.
So that makes him like a 15-year-old.
The brazen likeness of like people like don't think it's wrong to like do this is always just amazing to me. Like I remember when like Napster first came out and I was like, oh, I get all this music. I was a teenager. I didn't really understand copyright law and how funding of all this works. From the artist. Yeah. I did not understand that. Either, yeah. Then artists went on this large campaign to like make you go like, yo, that's our money. All of a sudden the music industry's folding. Everybody, hey, let's not do this.
But do you remember people at first they were pissed off at the artists that wanted to shut down. Now, they were mad at Metallica.
Look, I was on that same train. I was like, F Metallica, Limp Bizkit's awesome. They say go ahead and do it.
No, but they were,
but not understanding.
Metallica was right though.
Yeah, they were 1,000% correct.
Yeah, because that would kill the music industry. You wouldn't have any more. You know, if everything was free,
I think Metallica. The problem with that was like Metallica. Like you're like Metallica has all the money. They're already doing okay. Like a smaller artist needed to come out and be like, yo, I'm making no money.
Well, they were sticking up for small artists.
Yeah, too. I know. Looking back, like I was a rebellious teenager and I didn't understand how money worked.
What was the result of that happening?
The music industry got destroyed.
Well, Napster got shut down.
Okay, and where did you wind up paying the difference in cost for your music?
Well, now I subscribe to a streaming service.
If you want to see the artist in concert, that ticket is now twice as much.
Oh yeah, and you go to the concert, you have to pay a couple $100. You can go backstage and see them. You know,
it's all about them jacking you for the live performance now, which you know. I mean,
they got to make a living.
I mean, I love music now. I love the availability. I have an Alexa. I have the Amazon account. So the idea of me having whatever music I want at any time. I mean, I'll look over and the most obscure thing I can think of, it'll play. And you know what? I love that. And I have paid the extra money to see people in concert. And I guess there's a give and take.
Yeah, you know, there are certain people I will pay to see. Now, I will tell you what, I went to look to see get tickets for the upcoming. It's going to be at the what's that called now? Camping World Stadium. It's Motley Crue, Poison, Def Leppard, Joan Jett. And I'm like, okay, Mary Ellen and I like all those bands.
Don't give a damn about a bad reputation.
Love her. I think she's awesome. She was a badass. And so the same place I had tickets to see Jimmy Buffett, and they cost me $250 a piece. I wanted to get tickets to see this show, the Motley Crue. It was $800 a ticket. Like they have jacked the price for that concert. Way.
Are you actually able to sit for a 6-7 hour concert?
Probably not,
because this is like an event. I've done these things where you go and you're there and you're into 6-7 hours. You're like going, all right, I've got my drunk on 3 different times. I've come up and down off my drinking 3 times now.
Yeah, 4 bands would take a long time, wouldn't it? Because I mean, I can see you let Joan Jett go on for 20 minutes.
No, 20 minutes. My ass. She's gonna play at least 6 to 8 songs.
I think Joan Jett. Okay, and then
she's not only going to say, "I'm playing my hits." I'm playing Rock and Roll and Reputation, and that's it. She's going to sing 4 other songs, you know.
Then you got Poison, you got Def Leppard, and Motley Crue. I mean, all those bands have a ton of hits.
You know what the setup and takedown. You know, they're not just running on set. You know, there's probably 10, 20 minutes, 30 minutes in between groups.
And when I was thinking about paying for the tickets, I'm like, well, I work at a radio station. I could probably beg for tickets somewhere around here.
You don't have to beg. You go, hey, listen, I need 2 tickets.
Yeah, probably. But yeah. So anyway, you have to really now decide on who you want to pay to see, you know, and how much you're really willing to pay.
That's a tight window. That's a tight window. But it's funny because I was talking to a guy in the station. Remember John Wade? I Ain't Missing You at All.
Yeah,
I'm missing you.
He's been in studio and he sang live for us. He was amazing.
Yeah, he's awesome. A talented guy. I've seen him play with the guitar.
John Wade.
I feel so bad. when artists, aren't on the top anymore and they can't,
Yeah.
even small events, he's at the local market.
Yeah.
He's playing like the market at the end of the month or something like that. And they were like,
Where's that at?
How do you, it's downtown Sanford.
Oh man, I would love to have him come back in the studio.
Yeah, we'll talk to your guys.
So he's gonna be at the market in Sanford?
Call Chamberlain. He's
man, let me tell you what, he is such a nice guy.
And he's fantastic.
He was the lead singer of the Babies.
Yep.
And they got hits that you would recognize, Ryan. I know you probably don't.
I know that song.
And remember
singing,
who he was on after John Wayne? Remember what he did after that?
Well,
Bad English.
Bad English. That's right. He also did an episode of Moonlighting. Super nice guy too.
He sings a song called the Bluebird Cafe, which is which is one of my favorite songs. So when I get out of the shower, I'll be like going, play John Wade Bluebird. And if I just say Bluebird Cafe, it won't pick it up. But I have to say John Wade Bluebird Cafe and it works.
Yeah, okay.
But yeah, he's guys like that. I mean, he's playing a smaller venue, and I'm out at the end of the month. But I've seen him, and he's a really talented guy. But
you go to Sanford quite a bit because I know you go down there for you'll do the third Thursday?
Live After 5 event. Is it second Thursday?
Second Thursday, and
then I do the Alley, which is I do bike night at the Alley.
Yeah. And I gotta tell you, on our Christmas vacation, Mary Ellen and I went to downtown Sanford, and we had actually we took Ryan with us.
Great food.
We took Ryan Holmes with us and his girl, and we got on that
the bike thing. That was fun.
You booze hounds.
They got this
driving around on the bike.
Yeah.
And you get on the bike thing, and you pedal, and you drink, and they play loud music, and it's a blast. It's a lot of fun.
I saw you guys. I was sick, and I was looking at you. These son of a bitches look happy. When you're sick, you don't want to see anybody else happy.
That's and apparently there's no rules on a bike in Sanford. Like once you step onto that thing, it becomes no rules. Drink where you want, yell as loud as you want, whatever you want to do.
Like downtown Sanford has really come a long way. I love it.
There's a lot going on. I mean, I think we're as far as people might be broke or something else, but people always pay for their entertainment.
Yeah,
and that's what we've learned in this country, and that we'll pay whatever we want for things we're interested in. So even if we say, well, things are rough and everything else, but people still find $1,000 for a meet and greet.
And if you're interested in getting a great graphic novel, go to bigcitycomics.com. That's Big
Jolly
City
Jane.
Comics.
We still have copies of Volume 1 of Jolly Jane, which is 1, 2, 3, and 4 with various variants.
And the other issues of Jolly Jane will be coming out soon.
Oh, we have we're doing a big thing at MegaCon. We're going to have a big booth. It's going to be with iHeartRadio. I already talked to Mark Chamberlain.
Okay.
And we're gonna have it up. We're gonna do it up.
That's very good. Ryan Holmes, what do you got going on?
I got the dance event that I'm doing.
Tell them about that real quick. I know we're crunched for time here, but just so you know, I warned him.
Dancing with the Slobs.
I warned him. He's doing Dancing with the Stars. I said, this is not for you. You have a lot of. I even complimented him, but try to talk him out of it. I complimented him. I said, he can't. You can play guitar. You can play piano. You do a lot of great things. You can't dance. You have no rhythm. Don't do this. It's a waste of your time. You're gonna wait. There's the payoff really isn't that great.
Yeah.
I've done this before. I did it. Mm-hmm. I showed him my video. He laughed at mine. I know he's gonna be worse than me. I know it.
We don't know. He might have some toes.
Please.
No, Jeff. I want to be cocky and funny. I am terrible at this.
Yeah.
I don't know if it'll be funnier than the video where Alva Nova slaps the crap out of you. I don't know what'll be funnier.
What's that? I don't know what that is.
He's got the video where the
Amber, she hits me. Yeah.
Oh, Amber Nova.
Amber Nova slaps the shit out of him.
I think he said Alvin.
He said Amber. And he said it kind of fast.
All right. So anyway, your dance event is coming up soon. It's at Hard Rock Live.
February 1st.
You have not gotten any better since 3 months ago.
No.
He's worked. He's tried.
Jeff, he showed us what he was doing. His dance.
His
dance partner came in.
It's bad.
He couldn't stay on step with her to save his ass.
No.
Can we just let him believe? Can we just do that?
No.
Right.
But here's the thing. So if you're listening to this, look, on the Real Radio Facebook page, the Monsters Facebook page, my Facebook pages, you can donate through Facebook. It's super simple. You can donate as little as $5, and I'm just trying to get to that $5,000. So at least I'm not a total piece of S, and I've raised money for something.
Why $5,000?
Well, they said 10, but I feel like 5 is good.
Please. 10.
Look, I'm happy it's at 1,000 right now, but it's I need to get about 4,000
Who gave
more.
you the 1,000?
What? Just various people. Yeah, like the Bull Wears, Tammy Nelson. Let's see who.
YouTubers unite.
Yeah, it was a lot of YouTubers.
Yes.
The Tanyas. Yeah, they're throwing in some cash. I put in $50 of my own money.
The Twin Towers of Tanya.
So it's like you're the piano guy, putting money in so people know to put money in.
Honestly, that's what Facebook says. Right when you start, it says, "Hey, let people know by giving your own money, and it'll help kick things off faster. And I'm like, oh, you got me, Facebook. Here's 50.
I got you. All right. Well, anyway, once again, if you need to get a hold of Jeff Coppin for anything legal wise, it's whenyounneedus.com. That's whenyounneedus.com. And Big City Comics for the graphic novel. Thank you for listening to our nonsense.
Enjoy.